Good morning, class. Today we are going to read a chapter from class 7 Honeycomb book, and the name of the chapter is The Ashes That Made Trees Bloom. So, the chapter The Ashes That Made Trees Bloom has been written by William Eliot Griffis, who was born on 1843 and he passed away on 1928 in United States. Books written by him are Japanese Fairy Wall in 1880, The Religions of Japan in 1895. So basically this story, The Ashes That Made Trees Bloom, it is a story about an honest and hard-working old couple. Couple means husband and wife. So basically this story is about an old couple and their pet dog. Okay. So now let us move on to the detail of this story. The Ashes That Made Trees Bloom. In the 19th century Japan, there used to live an old couple and they were having their only companion or their only partner, that was a little pet dog. Okay, and the name of the dog was Muko. This old couple, they used to love the pet dog or Muko as if it was their baby. They used to give the pet dog a few pieces of fish and even boiled rice to eat. Muko also in the return, he also used to love his noble master. So basically this story surrounds or revolves around an old couple and their pet dog whose name was Muko. So the old man was a rice farmer. He used to work very hard from morning till sunset. And every day Muko also used to follow him to the field. It did not attack the white heron bird which used to kill the worms in the field. The farmer also, he was very kind to the living creatures. So every day what happens? The farmer used to go to the field and the farmer used to work from morning to sunset. And the pet dog or Muko also followed the farmer. And on the way or in the field, Muko never killed or never attacked white heron bird. What is the reason? The reason is white heron bird used to kill worms in the field. That is why Muko never attacked the white heron bird in the field. Okay. Then one day the dog came running to its master. It motioned him to some place behind. That means the dog wanted the master to follow him to a new place. The old man followed Muko to the place where it began to scratch. And the old man used his hoe in order to dig the earth or in order to dig the ground. And when the old man dug the ground, he found a lot of gold there. Then after that, the old couple became rich. And after getting a lot of gold, they bought land, even hosted a party to their friends. Even they gave some money to the poor neighbors. Clear? In the same village, there used to live a wicked old man and his wife. And they were very unkind to all dogs. We had read before that this honest old couple, they were very kind to the living creatures. But there used to live another couple who was very wicked and they were very unkind to the dogs. And when they heard of their neighbor's good luck, what they did, they called Muko to their garden and offered it fish to eat. Okay. They hoped that Muko would find treasure for them. But Muko refused to eat any fish. And then what the dog did? The dog took them to a pine tree in the garden. The greedy old fool or this couple, they danced with joy. They thought that the dog will find them treasure. So then what the old couple did, this wicked couple, they began to dig the ground. And when they dug the ground, they found only a dead cat in the pit. And they got very angry. And in a fit of anger, what they did, they bit Mukko to death. And finally, Mukko was killed by this wicked old couple. The owners of the Mukko, they started mourning. Why? Because their pet dog or their companion Mukko was killed. So they started mourning, they started crying. They put flowers and water on its tomb. And that night what happened? The spirit of Mukko appeared to the old farmer in their dream. And it asked the old farmer to cut down the pine tree over its grave and make a mortar for rice pastry and a mill for his bean sauce. Soon what the old farmer did? After the dream, the old farmer made a hollow space in the tree trunk and he with his wife made a hammer of wood for pounding rice. Even they baked the pastry and suddenly what happened? When they baked the pastry, the whole mass changed into gold coins. So knowing about this, the jealous old neighbor, they noticed everything. They noticed that the bean sauce turning into gold. And when the bean sauce turned gold, again the old couple, they became rich. So what the neighbors did, they also did the same. But when they grind, what happened? Their pastry and their sauce, it turned into worms. So what they did? They destroyed the mill that had been borrowed from the old couple and they burnt it. Okay, so when the old couple, they baked the pastry, the whole mass turned into gold coins. But when the wicked old couple, they did the same, what happened? Everything turned into worms. Okay, this is all about the first part of the story. Now let us see the second part of the story. Now what happens? Now the good old man, he had another dream. What was this dream now? The spirit of their pet dog told him to take the ashes of the mill and spread it on the withered pine tree. And even he assured that when you will spread the ashes, what will happen? It will again bloom. Withered means the trees without any leaves. So the dog said that if you spread ashes on the withered pine tree, it will again bloom. So the old man brought ashes of the mill and what he did? He spread a pinch on the cherry tree. And the tree was covered with blossoms. And the greedy wicked couple, what they did now, they will also do the same. So they gathered the remaining ashes of the wooden mill. So next what happens, let's see. The wealthy landlord of the village was to pass by that road. So it was an occasion because the wealthy landlord, he will pass through the road. And according to the custom, all the people, they have to shut their doors and windows. They have to shut their high windows. And nobody was allowed to look down on the lordship. What everyone is to do? Everyone has to knelt upon their hands and knees until the procession passed by. So a tall man marched ahead asking the people to get down on their knees. But the good old man did not kneel down. Instead of it, what he did, he scattered a bit of ashes over the withered cherry tree and suddenly it burst into blossom. So the landlord went out to see the wonder that happened. So what he did, the landlord thanked the man and even offered him presents and also invite him to the castle. Okay. So now, when the greedy neighbor heard all about this, he also did the same. He also took the magic ashes to the highway and he waited until the landlord's train come along. And when the landlord train came or the procession came, what he did, instead of kneeling down like the other people, he climbed to the withered cherry tree. And when the landlord was directly under him, he threw a handful of ashes over him. But now what happened? The trees doesn't blossom. The tree showed no change. Rather, the dust blew into the nose and eyes of the landlord or the lordship. And the man who was escorting the lord dragged him or pulled the greedy man from the tree and threw him into the ditch. Even he also bit him very badly. The greedy man thus died in the mud, and the kind owner of Muko, the old couple, they lived happily to the green old age. Okay, so this is all about the story. What do we understood from the story? That we should never be greedy. The moral of the story is the result basically depends on our good works or on our bad works that has been done by us in the past. So this is all about the story. Thank you.